Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. How's it going? I hope you all are doing well, and I hope that you all had a very Merry Christmas. I can say that for myself, I enjoyed it. For those of you who don't know, my birthday is actually on Christmas Day. Yes, I decided to make my entrance into the world right in the middle of the holiday. Sounds like something typical that I would do, and while everyone's trying to enjoy themselves. And of course, my mom actually had four kids. I'm the youngest of five, so she had five. She had four at the time, but leave it to me. They're all trying to enjoy Christmas, and here I come interrupting everything, coming just in like a wrecking ball. But nevertheless, here we are. I pray that you all had a wonderful Christmas. And if you are tuning in for the first time, my name is Victoria Baxter. I am the founder here of the Saved and Single Ministry. I'm a life coach, a dating coach, and a relationship coach. Every Saturday, I do the Sassy Saturday special, and I've been doing it for a couple of months now. Whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, you can go back and look at all the videos that I've done every single Saturday, touching on different topics that women either have asked me to speak about or things that I chose to speak about, just based on conversations, coaching, or anything like that. But you can learn more about me and this ministry at www.thejalministry.com. and then click on Saved and Single. But what I wanted to talk about for today, again, I know that Monday the clock is going to be striking midnight, and here it is. It's going to be another year, and I'm not sure how that's going to make you feel. I know that sometimes we're frustrated because we didn't meet a goal, or maybe even meet a person, or we didn't solidify a relationship, enter into a relationship, get proposed to, get married, so many different things, start a business, get a job, lose weight. I know it's not always about a relationship, but I know that it does bring a wave of emotions for different people, regarding different things. I can be honest and say for myself, it was something that would be a little bit frustrating when the new year would come in and I had all these self-imposed goals myself, and I was looking at the fact that I didn't meet them yet. I was looking at the fact that at least, I don't know about you all, but for me, I said by the time I was 30, that's when I was going to be married and have yet another child. I have two now, and I'm currently a single mom of two. But for me, that's what my goal was. I was saying by the time I was 30, I was going to be married and I would already have child number three. And that has not happened yet. So then it's like each year that would come and it was still me being single, it was a little bit frustrating. It was a little bit disheartening because I was realizing I had not yet met that goal. And here it is. I was now 31, now 32, now 33. And yet and still, I was far away from the goal that I put on myself. But thankfully, I finally found the contentment in that season as far as being single. But of course, there are other goals and other things that you look at. Maybe when the year comes up, you're realizing that you're happy because you have another chance to get it right. You can make those changes. You can do things a little bit differently. Monday is going to come around and midnight's going to, come, and a lot of people are going to be kissing someone underneath the mistletoe. But I want to know, what are you going to be doing, and how are you going to feel when we enter in 2019? How are you going to feel, and what are you going to be doing? I know that some people are going to be crying. I know that some are going to be sleeping. I know that some are going to be eating ice cream. And I know that some are going to be maybe enjoying themselves with family and or friends. I know that some might be watching a movie or even enjoying the countdown. I think they do those on like all the major channels as far as, what is it, Times Square? Is that where the ball drops? I don't know. I watch it sometimes, but not really. But many different emotions come into play when a new year comes up. And then some of us also have different traditions when it comes to ringing in a new year. What I do know is that being single is not always easy this time of year. And again, for different reasons. I do know that as far as some of you, a lot of you are struggling as far as still being single. And yeah, the holidays can be a little bit more difficult. I know that some of you are annoyed and some of you are even frustrated. But I know that some of you are also fine and you want to keep it that way. Some people, they've made it to 6 months, a year, or several years, and they've been content with being single, but now they're starting to get a little bit weary. They're getting a little bit impatient because they're trying to figure out, okay, I didn't think it was going to last this long. How much longer am I going to be here? I know for me, again, I finally found contentment. but I wasn't always there. And I think I'm right now, like just kind of entering in being content. So it's easy for me to talk about, and of course, yeah, the holidays might come, or you have those moments where it's like, oh, it'd be nice to have somebody right now. It'd be nice to be in a relationship for a time such as this, or, actually be married for a time such as this. When I think about certain household tasks, of course, we all might want companionship at some point in time. But for the most part, I finally learned to be content where I am right now. And especially because I know what I'm supposed to be doing in this season. And my goal and desire is always for everyone else to find contentment as well. When I think about this, I love what Paul said in Philippians 4:11, because it makes me think of my position while even delivering this message. And what he said was, I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. For me, HCP is my focus, and that stands for healing, contentment, preparation. It's the basis of the book that I released several months ago, Debunking the Fairy Tale of Boaz. It's a book for single Christian women, and I'm looking at healing from your past, finding contentment in your present, all while preparing for the future. Speaking of which, if you do not have your copy right now, up until the 31st, they are still buy one, get one free. Add 2 to your cart, and when you get to checkout, enter code DFB BOGO, and you actually get 2 for the price of 1. So make sure that you get yours. But a few months back, since I'm always focusing on healing, contentment, preparation, a few months ago, I actually did a live coaching on healed, and actually, healing from your past when it comes to any violations, any betrayals, any mommy issues, daddy issues, a past heartache, heartbreak, disappointment, anything like that. And I do have it now available on my website as well as a self-guided coaching kit, as I call them. And it's really taking all the information from any live series I did where you don't miss anything and you actually get extra and additional bonus information, but it's all compiled into a file, and it comes with the different audios, the MP3s, and stuff like that, so that you can still take part in it no matter what. So if you miss that, do that, because honestly, what I do see a lot of times is that many of the issues and things that people are dealing with right now in this season, and as it pertains to wanting to be in a relationship, it has to do with healing. A lot of times it's a healing issue. And even those who are in relationships and in marriages, there are still issues that are tied to their healing or lack thereof. And it's so important. And it drives us to make certain decisions and to not make certain decisions. So healing is something that I'm very, 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 very big on. And if you're somebody who is in need of that, please head over to the website and handle that for yourself. But even though I've done that before, I want to start the new year off with contentment, because that is something that a lot of people are struggling with as well. It's like, okay, I'm healed. I don't have any, issues. I'm not desperate because I, need a man because of this or whatever else. And I'm healed, I'm whole, but I'm still struggling to find contentment. A lot of people, they want to be content, but they don't know how. And I know it might sound crazy to some, but some are just like, how do I focus on being content in this season? What can I do? Like, I'm sick of just going to work and nothing else, or sick of, just taking care of kids and nothing else, or running my business and nothing. Like, how do I find contentment and not focus on the fact that I am single? Let's first look at what contentment actually is. It's actually defined as a state of happiness and satisfaction. Being content, it's not the same as settling. Being content, it's saying, I'm going to be satisfied where I am right now. I know better is out there. I know better is coming, but I'm going to be satisfied with where I am right now at this place. And what I do love in 1 Corinthians 7, that's one of my favorite chapters in general as it pertains to being married, single, engaged, a virgin, just a lot of different things. But what Paul actually says in verses 34 through 35, an unmarried woman or virgin is concerned about the Lord's affairs. Her aim is to be devoted to the Lord in both body and spirit. But a married woman is concerned about the affairs of this world, how she can please her husband. I am saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in a right way and undivided devotion to the Lord. So Paul is kind of giving that, that message, so to speak, of saying, hey, if you are single, stay single. And it's better for you to be where you are right now. You get to focus on God. You get to devote your time, energy, and efforts into other things. But when you're married, you have to worry about those things. You have to worry about the ways of the world, and you have to worry about your husband. He's saying, but if you are single, if you are unmarried, remain this way because you are in a better place than most. And that's what I do want people to focus on. And that's what I want people to remember. And I want to give just a few tips. If you are someone who's trying to find that contentment, here are some ways and some ideas on how you can be content while being single. Let's start this year off with contentment in this season, because being healed is one thing, but if you are not in love with yourself, if you are not content in this area, then you're going to be expecting someone else to provide happiness to you. And something that I even put on the Facebook and the Instagram page a couple of days ago. Happiness is a one-person job. That is something that only you can offer to yourself. Nobody else can make you happy. Nobody else has the power to make you happy. Honestly, you shouldn't even want to give that power to somebody else, because that means they're always going to have it. And it's always going to be their job to keep you happy. And that means that your happiness is always going to be dependent upon what they say and what they do. You're the only one who wants to have any type of say so or control over happiness. Let's just make that known. First thing I would tell you, ways to find content while being single, and this is going to sound crazy. Read the Bible. Read the Bible right now during this time. Again, I know it sounds weird, but use this time to really facilitate your relationship with God. And when you read the Bible and you get to know about Him, His promises, His characteristics, you get to learn about yourself. You get to have the Holy Spirit speak to you and, and convict you on certain things and provide revelation. The best thing you can really do is know God and know His word. And also you do learn about yourself, because you start to see different things that that God will reveal to you about you in your word. And it's so many different things. And it's really a beautiful thing to do during this time, is getting to know who God is and reading the Bible and learning about Him during this time. It's always crazy to me because I hear so many women say that they want a man who can teach them and teach them the word and teach them the Bible. Use this time to know the word for yourself. And that is always very important. We know that scripture even says, study to show thyself approved. You don't want anyone else teaching you something because they might not know the right way. They might be giving you false information or something that's inaccurate. I've been there before when it comes to letting preachers and other people in their interpretation of scriptures define how I even thought that a scripture was supposed to be interpreted, or whatever else. I let others even tell me about who God is. I spent a lot of time thinking that He was this angry person who was always looking to bang the gavel and send me to hell for something that I say or did, all because others had me thinking that there was this mean old angry, crazy God or whatever who was out to get me for every little move that I made. And I now took the time to get to know Him for myself. I still went into it thinking He was that way. But now that I actually read, and I'm just not looking at one scripture, and I look at the context and the chapter and the author and the audience and things like that. And now it's like getting to know God, getting to know what that scripture really means, getting to know what that passage was truly all about, hearing Him speak to me in different ways as well. If this is something that you're struggling with, or that you've tried it and you don't know what to do, or if you want to join in others who are doing the same thing, this is going to be the second year that I'm going to be doing an online a Bible reading plan, the Reach Online Bible Reading Plan. You can visit, again, www.thejalministry.com, click on Reach and sign up. It's free. Every single week you'll get an email with the readings for that week, letting you know what you're supposed to be reading. You'll get added to a private Facebook group who are all also doing the reading as well, and we can discuss what we've read. If you have any questions, you can pose those questions, things like that. I'll also even do video messages with certain things and explain Join in, feel free, please, but start reading the Bible. It's key right now during this season. Something else I would say, to find contentment while being single: serve. Serving at a local charity, volunteering for a local charity, anything like that, but finding ways to give back during this season. And I mean season, not holiday season, but your season of being single, just right now looking for something to do, but start volunteering and serving somewhere. Join a team, maybe even at your church. A lot of them have single women's or men's ministries. A lot of them have outreach projects, things like that. Maybe there's something you can do, any type of clerical work, being a greeter. I'm not sure, what the setup or the style of your church is, but there's always a way to, there are always ways to volunteer and do something in the church and or community. Something else that is big that I always tell women to do during this time: find a hobby. And I mean, I don't, say that, just find something to do like it's just, brushing a child off. But seriously, find something that either that you enjoy doing, or discover something that maybe you didn't know that you were going to enjoy doing. Reading is something I really enjoy doing, and I'll sometimes just turn the TV off and read, and I can finish a book within a couple of days. But maybe you like reading, maybe you like to write. Maybe writing is something that you're good at. You maybe write letters or write poems or whatever else. Maybe keep on writing. Think about writing a book. Think about putting all that stuff together and, uploading it on Amazon. It's definitely one of the simplest things that you can ever do. But maybe you want to even think about doing something as far as that's concerned. Poetry, again, same thing. I know it might sound crazy. Pottery, taking a pottery class, taking a dance class, taking any type of art class, maybe even going to Michael's like I did recently. I went to Michael's and I loaded up on art supplies, canvases, the easel, the paint brushes, the whole nine. Just start painting. I'm not an artist by any means, but just finding something relaxing to do, to play some worship music and just find something to wind down and de-stress and things of that nature. I love to cook. Some women are just like, Vicky, why do you like to cook so much? I don't like to cook. I don't know how to cook. Hopefully my husband doesn't want me to cook. If that is you, take a cooking class. I always say that that is something else that people can do during this time, but actually, I don't know where you live at, obviously, but I know in many different areas there are places that offer cooking classes for individuals, groups, couples, friends, whatever. But sign up and even do something as simple as that, and just begin taking cooking lessons. And it doesn't have to be for anybody except yourself, or if you have kids or whatever, of course. But that is also something that many people find to be very relaxing. Travel is another hobby, and a lot of people, they're waiting for somebody to travel with. They're waiting for a man to travel with. They're waiting for their husband or their partner or their spouse to travel with. Get your girls together, or maybe even do it by yourself. People thought I was crazy because I went to California last year by myself, and I knew that I had people around me that meant well. But for me, I was sick of always planning trips with people, and then it comes down to actually going or paying or doing whatever else, and then the trip would get canceled, or we would just, reschedule, postpone, whatever. I started learning to, hey, buy a plane ticket or hop in a car or print out those directions, do whatever, and just go for it by myself. I know a lot of women who even travel to different countries by themselves. I don't know if I could probably do that, but nevertheless, travel. All those things are going under hobby. Just find something that you enjoy doing. Another way that you can find contentment while being single: discover your purpose and chase your passion. If you don't yet know what your purpose is, a lot of times it's either tied to our passion, the thing that brings us the greatest joy, the thing that we would be content doing for free for the rest of our lives if we could, or sometimes our purpose is also tied to the things that's almost like the greatest thorn, the thing that stresses us out the most, the biggest struggle or area of, dissatisfaction that we have in our lives, or that really drives us insane, to some degree. A lot of times those things are tied to your passion. I know when I started my nonprofit organization, it was, I was at a point of being, things were awful financially. And I remember needing assistance from agencies. And I found myself, going to these agencies, but there was so much red tape. It was, oh, you got to be this, you got to have this, you got to prove this, and all these other different things. So I remember being frustrated and thinking how many other people are going through the same exact thing. So it made me start my own. I thought I was doing it on my own, not realizing that was what God was calling me to do all along, was actually starting a nonprofit organization. But something that I started just for the sake of giving back and helping others in need, it's now branched out to so much more. Like the online church I have is through the nonprofit organization. This single woman's ministry is through the nonprofit organization. The outreach program, the homeless shelter that we're going to be doing, the transitional homes, the drug rehabilitation, so many different things, all through that. So it's crazy to see that our purpose is often tied to, like I said, those one or two things. Take the time to discover your purpose, and in the meantime, chase your passion. That too is honestly, it's another self-guided coaching kit that I do have available, Discovering Your Purpose. I did a 5-night live teaching on that and helping people with discovering their purpose, for those who are just like, I've been working dead-end jobs, or working jobs, making great money, but I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled. There's something in my life that I just feel like there's a void, or something else that I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know whatever. So I did a coaching to help with that. And again, compiled into something on the website that you can do, even though that too is something I did months ago. Another way to find contentment: meet new friends. I know that's always difficult, and especially dependent upon your age or our age, because we get to a point where it's like, we don't really mind, going on dates and meeting new guys or something like that. But it's like meeting new friends, we don't always want to. And I know for me, it's like the friends that I have now that I actually call friends, I've had for many, many, many years. So the thought of actually inviting someone else in, I've always been just like, nope, not going to do it. But I've realized that that's not always the way to be. Sometimes I can still be a little bit leery when it comes to that. But meet new friends, or even if not friends, acquaintances. I know there are a lot of different groups on Facebook, and you can, meet people in your area, or you can even set something up, yourself, or through your church or whatever else. But meet new people. Maybe you have some coworkers at your job, again, people at your church, people on Facebook that are also in your area. Find a way to go and meet new people that actually have similar interests as you, which you can find these things out when you take on one of those hobbies that we talked about: a dance class, an art class, start a traveling group yourself, go to a cooking class, and you might be surprised to learn that there is somebody else there who's in the same exact boat that you're in. Aside from meeting new friends, something I also say: do things alone. Many people, especially women, they don't like doing things alone and by themselves. And that's why they're in this place where they're annoyed being single, because they're lonely. They're wanting somebody to go out to eat with, or go to the movies with, or whatever else. And they already have a list going of all the different things that they're going to want to do with their boyfriend, fiance, husband as soon as he comes into the picture, because they've been waiting on someone to do those things with. I don't know what might be stopping you from doing any of those things by yourself. One thing I also say is, how else are you going to know who you are and what you like? Sorry, I didn't realize my phone was going to ring. If you're going to hesitate to do things by yourself and alone during this time. I am not really big on going to a restaurant by myself. I will admit that. I said I was going to work up the nerve to actually do that one day. But I like to eat, and I know it might sound weird, but it was something that I even read, something that came to me in the book of Esther, and it was something else that I actually read as well. But it's something about breaking bread and feasting with other people and over conversation, or whatever, and stuff like that. So for me, it's like food is one of those things that I know it sounds crazy, but I take seriously, and that's why I love to cook. I'm always having little get-togethers, parties, and whatever else, but it's to enjoy with other people. But I did say I want to work up the nerve to go out to eat by myself. But a movie, that is something I enjoy doing by myself. I will put on some sweatpants, a t-shirt, grab a hoodie, grab my wallet, and I will go to a matinee and curl up in a seat by myself at any given moment. I don't mind. And I think for me also, because I don't like when people talk when I'm watching TV or watching a movie. So at least if I go by myself, no one's asking questions, no one's whispering or whatever else. I love doing that alone. Here in Charleston, South Carolina, we have the Battery downtown. We have Waterfront Park. I like to go sit by the water, read, write, or just, even if I'm just playing on my phone or just talking to God, praying, looking out at the water, whatever. I've learned to do a lot of things by myself. And yes, during this time, I've been learning a lot about myself and learning a lot about what I like, who I am, and what I want to do. Because we can go based on what the TVs and the magazine and other people say that are good activities to do with a couple, and then you might go do those things with somebody and realize that it's not really for you. It's not really your taste. You really don't enjoy those things. Me, I am a homebody, and not because I don't have anyone to hang with, but even when I get invited sometimes to go out, I don't want to because I enjoy curling up on the couch, watching a movie, watching TV, or whatever. So I'm learning a lot of the things that I enjoy and the things that make me just go crazy, all kind of different things. I put traveling under hobby, but again, that is something that people underestimate doing. But traveling, again, taking a road trip, maybe you have a friend in a different state, even if not a road trip, flying, going someplace, exploring something, or a place that you've always wanted. Maybe just look at the state that's like right next to you and look at things to do in that state. Maybe look at something that's driving distance, a couple of hours away that you can go by yourself and explore that museum or go to that restaurant or do some shopping or go to that zoo, whatever else, alone. Have fun, have at it. Lastly, I would say discover self-awareness. And what I mean by that is, again, learning who you are, because we put so much into the hands of others and we allow others to validate us and tell us who we are. We don't even realize it, but we let sometimes people tell us, oh, you should do this, or you would be good at this, or I can tell based on your personality or whatever else, and you seem like the type to whatever. And of course, sometimes people will help us realize things. I'm not saying ignore other people, but sometimes we don't take the time to really learn who we are. And I mean, not who you are as in what do you do for a living or anything like that. I mean, who you are to your very core, the essence of you. Who are you? And taking the time to realize this, it's so important, because otherwise, if you don't know yourself, you will lose yourself when you're with someone else. You will lose yourself in a relationship if you do not know who you are. Because the last thing you want to do is connect with someone and you don't know who you are. They're telling you who you are. You really care about this person. You believe they have your best interest at heart. So then what? You end up believing everything they're telling you, and you're believing it. Why? Because you never took the time to learn yourself and to discover who you are. So take time to figure out, what do you enjoy doing? When you go and do these different activities, how did they make you feel? What did you realize about yourself as you're with friends and, when you're out? What are the things that make you laugh? What topics do you enjoy talking about? What type of things annoy you? What makes you tick? What are things that you still want to work on? What is something that you might discover that you had no idea that you were going to enjoy doing or talking about or feeling or thinking to the extent that you do? Self-awareness is very, very, very important. And those are just a few tips that I actually had for you. And I hope that it's things that you will take into consideration, that I just really wanted to throw some things out there again. A new year is coming and it's time to be content. It's time to enjoy you. It's time to not, waste another season or another year being frustrated and putting all of your energy into becoming a better person for him, becoming a better person for those who might come across you, or whatever else. Be awesome for you. Be happy for you. Learn things for you. Do things for you. Let's work on being content. If you are stuck with any of these things, if you feel like you are stagnant, if you feel like you need assistance, reach out to me on the website. Again, individual life coaching for those who are just trying to find their purpose or whatever else. I have a separate coaching for discovering your purpose. For those who are like, hey, I know what I want to do as far as starting a business or whatever else. 6 months of helping as far as that's concerned. But even outside of that, life coaching for those who are just in a difficult point right now, relationship coaching, dating coaching, whatever else. There are, again, a series of self-guided coaching kits on the website as well that you can do a couple of different things as well during this time. One thing I'm actually launching next Friday, what is that, the 4th? I think it's the 4th if I'm not mistaken. But R2C, and that's actually the Road to Contentment. And it's actually going to be a 60-day journey of taking single women through finding their contentment during this season. For those who are just like, okay, this video was nice, I still got some questions, I still don't know how, I still got some, whatever else. For those who want to invest in that part and get a little bit more serious, I'm doing that. And this is going to be complete with, it's a multi-disc set. There's a workbook, there's lessons, there's customized prayers, there's an ebook, all of these other different things. Again, it's through, it starts January 4th. So maybe you want to sign up for that during this time. Maybe you're saying, hey, I want to go to the next step. I want to take it, to the next level and actually really focus on being content and not worrying about meeting someone, finding someone, or just trying to be content in general, because you're realizing that you've never been content, or you were, and now it's just kind of getting to a different place and you're not even sure. But we're going to be looking at a lot of different things. I'm very excited about it. I've been working on this for a couple of months now, as far as getting, this whole journey together. I kind of say like another master class, but getting this whole thing together, but looking at discovering your purpose, looking at passion, looking at self-love, looking at sex, looking at, creating a bucket list, and just so many different things to take the focus elsewhere and just really make 2019 all about you. But you can learn more about that on the website as well, www.thejalministry.com, and clicking on Saved and Single. But hey, if I don't see you or talk to you again before, Monday, Tuesday, have a happy new year. Be blessed. Stay safe. I love you all. Thank you all for being a part of this 2018 journey. And so many of you, y'all have seen me grow and change and push so many different things out that I didn't even know were going to be a part of, this past year or whatever thus far. And you all have been right there coming along for the ride with me. And it's been awesome connecting with so many of you in a different way and in a deeper way, on a deeper level, and just helping y'all with many different things, and you all trusting me and pushing me to grow and advance and become a better person as well. So it's been awesome. And hey, here's to 2019 and so much more to come. I love you all, and I will talk to you all later. Be blessed. Bye-bye.